One.
What's up, guys? How are you doing? This is episode three of our West Coast Gen Z podcast. I am Ariana. This is my co-host Peter. For this episode, I know last week Peter talked and asked me a lot of questions about who I am, but now it's my turn because we got to learn a little bit about Peter in the first episode, but honestly, like there's just so much that me and the audience don't even know about you that we have to get into. Um, and so I first wanted to kind of ask you, Peter, you were born in Hawaii, correct?
Correct.
So, what city? Okay, I think I want to know like, the island, the city you were born in, and how long were you there? Like, were you there until your teenage years or your adulthood? And what was life like growing up in Hawaii? Do you have any like favorite childhood memories you have and things like that?
For sure, I'm born and raised in Hawaii, Honolulu, Hawaii, in the island of Oahu, the state capital of Hawaii is Honolulu. And honestly, I've been there for 23 years before I moved to California. And
Mm.
honestly, as people expect, I do live in a hut at the beach and I ride dolphins to school. I'm joking. I'm just joking. I get that a lot. I get that a
Fun.
lot. But no,
Yeah.
honestly, living life in Hawaii is really great. If you like that chillax vibe, but you're not very career driven, that's the place to be. Like you're kind of set into like what you really want to do, but you don't want to get any higher. That's where you want to be. Like sipping Mai Tais at the beach is a thing. Okay, I'm gonna share that now. Sipping Mai Tai at the beach is a thing. But if you
Hmm.
love nature, if you love hikes, but if you love fresh air, and I think that's the biggest aspect that I've really learned coming here is that we don't get that much fresh air and how polluted our air is in California or in the mainland is what we call it. But childhood wise, I think just growing up with the same community. Community is
Yeah.
very big in Hawaii. We're very, very diverse and everyone knows each other. Like you can tell me somebody that went to high school with me, maybe a friend of a friend, I'd be, oh yeah, I know that guy. Like that's how close Hawaii is and how niche it is. When we talk
Yeah.
about family and community, Hawaii is a standard for family and community compared to like here in the States or here in the mainland or even any other countries. I feel like Hawaii is the state that we can call an actual home, an actual family area. So that's what it is.
And when you came to the United States, why specifically, how did you decide, okay, I'm gonna come to LA, California, and what made you come from Hawaii to California specifically?
Oh man. I originally started with being in the Northern California. I used to actually live by Oriana actually, which is kind of funny that we talked about this.
Yeah, you did.
I did move
Pleasanton,
here.
right?
Yeah, I used to work at Pleasanton, but I
Hmm.
lived in Hercules, a little bit
Hmm.
on the East Bay, is what we call
Hmm.
it. I decided to go to California because I wanted to better my career. And yes, during that time, I did follow a girl. I'm gonna be very blunt to you guys. I did follow a girl. It didn't work out, and well, Ariana's probably gonna ask me about that in a bit. But I did want to have a career advancement. I ended up actually becoming the youngest tennis director in the whole United States and probably the whole country, nation, there ever
Wow.
been at 2023. So I believe
Amazing.
in California being a good place to career advance. If you really want to advance your career in the tech industry, the sport industry, or actually any, to be honest, the health industry, this is the place
Yeah.
to be. So I decided that I need to pack my bags and have a switch
Hmm.
and create more independence for myself. So
Yeah.
that's the reason why I actually moved. Yeah.
You talked to me a little bit about because I don't think people realize like that is amazing that at that age you were able to achieve and such an amazing achievement in tennis. I am actually very curious though, how did you get into tennis? Like how did you get into it? What made you fall in love with the sport? And did you ever have any sort of I guess idol like tennis idols that you looked up to when you were young and you were like, I want to be like them.
Yeah, for sure. I actually started tennis at 5.
Hmm.
Supposedly the story is what is going around. Is that I started at 5. I was in a class full of girls, maybe two other guys, and I thought it was a very girly sport, so I actually quit.
Yeah.
Um, but the reason why I actually got back into it was my grandpa was the one that wanted me to play tennis for the longest time. And when he passed away in eighth
Right.
grade, I made it
Mm.
a mission and a goal for myself to really get back into the sport and really to use it as a memory for him. Use it as I know when I play tennis, he's always there for me. So that's exactly
Mhm.
what it is. I've played tennis for about 15 years already. I've been a coach
Wow.
for 11 years. And the
Mm.
idol that I have to say, it's kind of funny that you asked, because I'm wearing his hat right now. He just retired last year, Rafa Nadal. Um,
Yeah.
and the reason why I chose him, there's Roger, but Rafa Nadal, and the
Mm.
reason why I chose him was he's always hardworking. He's always pushing himself to 100%. And he knows he's
Right.
not perfect, but no matter
Yeah.
what, he's always going to push himself. And that's really what I got from him. Not his playing styles, I'm not going to lie. I hate playing
Yeah.
lefties, but
Right.
it's the personality and the drive he has to really do that, but also help other people. His biggest thing is about actually charity work. He loves to do the charity work. He loves to make sure that people are fed, people have schools to go to, and they don't really share that. And I feel like that's the aspect that I want to say. Like, even if you guys are doing good things out there, it doesn't mean for you to share it. And if you do it once, I don't think it matters, you know. But when you're doing it multiple times, you're not sharing it, but people see it from the way you kind of show it. That's the best way to go. So that's why, my biggest idol is Rafa Nadal. And I actually never had a coach growing up. I actually just started playing self-taught. But really, my aim focus now for tennis too is create players and have people enjoy the sport more.
Did you ever want to go professional, like be like, oh, let me go to the Olympics and like make a full-time career out of it? Or was that where did you eventually play tennis more for enjoyment and pleasure and for yourself?
Yeah, I actually did play semi-pro. I did play semi-pro for a bit, but I want to coach on the pro tour. That's my ultimate goal. Did I achieve that
Yeah.
dream? I actually did last year. I was able to coach on tour for a little bit on the professional level, but I recently found out that's not my niche. I am actually focusing on right now on training. I still play the sport right now and I still compete. But I might go back to my home country. I know I was born and raised in the United States, but my home country is actually Vietnam. And I want to be able
Mm,
to represent Vietnam in something called the Davis Cup. So I'm actually
yeah.
gonna, I'm actually on my fitness journey, as hopefully everyone sees on my Instagram. I'm on my fitness journey to lose weight to be able to compete at a higher level. So that's what I'm aiming for right now.
Yeah. Well, do talk about, okay, I do want to ask you really quick about that girl though. What was special about that girl? What was special about her that you had to
Yeah.
follow her?
To be honest, I don't think there was any, after realizing,
Yeah.
dating for 2.5 years. Um, it just wasn't special at all. Sometimes
Yeah.
people have that persona in the beginning, and that's what I thought. I caught that on, and I was like, you know what? I wanted to push to go California anyway, so just give me a reason to. So I
Yeah.
ended up following her. But at the end of the day, guys, I really want to share this a little bit. If you're in a relationship that you feel like you're stuck on, or there's some red flags, or there's things that you feel like believe in your gut more because what I've learned through that relationship, guys, and that's why I actually moved to LA was I want to start a new book in my series. But the reason why I'm sharing this is to people who are in the relationship where it got toxic, it got abusive, it got to a place where you want to like, I'm gonna say this on this because it's unfiltered, kill yourself. That's exactly what happened to me
Yeah.
last year.
Yeah.
And I never thought that would ever going to happen, but I was at the lowest point, because I knew that I dated this girl for the wrong reason. I knew that I only wanted her because everyone wanted her and I wanted to like win. That's what it
Mm,
is. Um,
yeah.
but the aspect what I found out was because so many people wanted her, there's always going to be someone better. And that's what I've learned. If the person's really loyal, I'm not saying all girls are like this, but if that person's really loyal, they wouldn't do that to you.
Yeah.
She was going through a lot of mental health aspects. I definitely understand. And that's why I didn't give up. To me, my heart is about helping people, even if they're on the lows or on the highs. And being last year, I'm pretty sure Ariana's going to ask me this later on of how I felt being homeless, but I was homeless for 7 months. I lost everything to my name. I was 5 figures in debt. And I thought of killing myself, guys. I'll be very honest. Like I actually attempted. I'll be honest. I actually attempted. And I was in a physical, mentally, spiritual abusive relationship. I was spat on, hit, bruised, cheated on, etc. I don't want to go right into it, but I decided that I want to give up on life because I was such on the low. I want to just give up because there was no purpose for me to live anymore. But somehow I'm still here. And that's really a journey that I'm still fighting and still healing from. But I'm healed enough to really share this with everyone here because I want to show you guys that don't be stuck in a place that is feeding you poison, right? Don't be stuck in a
Yeah.
place where it's toxic because at the end of the day, it's going to hurt you more than it's going to hurt them. They don't really care. I'll tell you that now.
Yeah.
Um, that you're doing this and you push yourself to become a person that you're not. And we call that imposter
Yeah.
syndrome. So that's really I would say what's not so special because there wasn't really anything special to it.
Right.
Um, but I think it was just a push for me to move to California and really start a new life, a new book in my
Yeah.
series. But at the same time, it's a learning process. You know, we never really lose in life, but we learn. We learn from it.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned you were homeless for like 7 months. So, how did you become homeless? Like, how did that even happen? But also, how did, like, right now, you're so into health and fitness. Like, if you guys follow his Instagram, like Peter said, he's really into getting, like, being the best version he can be physically and mentally. So, how did you like turn your life around and get into this field of health and nutrition and wellness, something that I'm really passionate about. And of course, many people are. I mean, that has to be such a big jump. Like, and it's really just an amazing story. But yeah, like talk about that transition because that must have been really rough to do it, especially on your own.
I'll be honest. I've learned a lot the last 7 months of last year. I started being homeless in January because I lost everything. I spent more money than I should have. I became
Mm,
someone that I shouldn't be. And it taught me a lot sleeping in my car to be able to just to have enough money to rent a storage place to put my stuff in there, to be able to have a gym membership at Planet Fitness, to be able to have a Costco membership so I can eat free samples all day long. But during that 7 months of my homelessness, in that 4 months of the 7 months, I was still in that relationship. And I'm not sure why I stayed, I'll be honest. I'm still figuring out to that day, and I felt like I just wanted to help people. I just wanted to help her get better. And I thought things would change, but things didn't. And that's where April was when like I was like, let's cut it off. I'm done. I'm walking out. Doesn't matter. But in the last 7 months, I've learned a lot of things. The first thing I learned is the people you think is going to be there for you will not be there for you. But the people you
yeah.
think that you're ashamed and nervous to talk about are the ones that care about you the most. And I've learned that most of my ex-friends who've been with me for 10 plus years, 15 plus years, even someone who's been since a baby, just didn't give a crap about me or didn't give a shit about me, right? Someone
Yeah.
who's struggling, someone who's going through such a big mental aspect of it. But what really changed after the 7 months is I was able to go actually back to Hawaii for the first time in 2.5 years because I didn't have the money to visit my mom. And of course, my mom helped me pay for it. My friend actually gave me a free ticket, a one-way ticket to go back home because she was just so worried about my mental well-being. And it's just scary. And I really want to share how I made this jump. And it starts with making a decision for yourself and not for anyone else. That's what it was. Yes, I live in LA now. And yes, this year has been such a big blessing in disguise for me, I gotta say. But the transition from July to December, um, I found a place to live. I was able to afford it. I was able to save up as much money as I can. And, being with that family that I rented from, they really changed my life. Having a single mom and two kids it's wonderful. I get to go home to noise, compared to being alone, quiet, and being anxiety of someone breaking into my car, which actually did happen. Someone did open
Mm,
my car and I was like freaking out. So I couldn't sleep the whole night. But, it starts with making a decision for yourself. It starts with making sure that how bad you want to make a change. And that's
yeah.
exactly what happened. And through last year, I stayed in this house for about 3 months. I ended up moving down here in September of 2024 down to this in SoCal and really restarted my whole life, guys. I started at zero. Let's just say that. Zero. Nothing to my name, just getting back on my feet and just doing the do. But it's the community that I'm in right now. It's the community that I call the Warrior Movement the community that I've been with 4 years ago, 5 years ago, when I really started my health and wellness journey, but decided to quit because of this girl. And I feel like things happen for a reason. And now I'm striving a bit more. And this year has been huge for me. I was able to go back home to Hawaii 3 times this year. I was able to go to Oregon and Washington just last month. But it's not about me showing off, guys. It's not about me saying that, oh, I traveled a lot this year. It's about saying that if I can do it, if I can be homeless with negative 5 figures in debt to now being able to be where my life is today, you
Yeah.
can do it too, because not a lot of people are homeless. Not a lot of people will sleep in their cars. And I feel for people that do, because I still go to Planet Fitness. I still see people sleeping in their cars. Of course, it hurts me. Of course, I feel them because I've been there, especially during the winter months. Oh my God, I gotta say, it was freezing. And to barely
Yeah.
have any insulation in your car, and your car is metal too. So it's even more colder, like a fridge. Like,
Hmm.
I gotta say, like, it was terrible. Eating fast food, I probably was gaining so much weight being in the car, getting oily face, finding things cheap. But that's really my story, guys. That's really how my transition is from being homeless to now being somewhere. I wouldn't say I'm successful now. I wouldn't say I'm successful now, but I can say that I'm on track to be there, being there.
Yeah, and I think it's just important to say, like, no matter what happens to your life or the trajectory, or maybe you didn't think your life would pan out this way, I think it's always important that you can always turn it around. Every day is a new chance, it's a new day, like it's never over. I know some people may kind of give up, but it is never too late to give up. And your past doesn't define you. Like what happened to you before, it's a part of your story, but it's not your whole life. You know, you have this
Correct.
opportunity to start your next chapter in your life. And you also don't have to have everything figured out. You know, you just take it step by step. But the fact is, you made this amazing transformation. And honestly, kudos to you
Thank
because
you.
you didn't give up, you persevered. And I think that's something that really speaks volume to your character. Um, and I kind of want to ask because you were born in Hawaii, Honolulu, and I have been there, so I love Waikiki Beach. But you also talked about being Vietnamese and your cultural background. So I just kind of want to ask you, because this is something that I think is really important for me personally, but being in America, how do you keep your culture alive, your Hawaiian culture and your Vietnamese culture? Like for example, do you still practice like eating the cuisines? Do you speak any languages or anything like that? Just like little things like that too. Even though you are American as well, still, how do you keep both of your cultures alive and how do you practice them daily?
Yeah, the biggest part of both culture is family. Being in a family, being in a tradition, like being a family, being able to enjoy the time together. I think that's the best part to say how I really treat both of them. No, I'm not Hawaiian, but I am. I was born and raised in Hawaii, so I grew up with the culture and tradition where everyone's family and everyone takes care of each other. And the same thing with the
Right.
Vietnamese too. For Vietnamese, I do eat their cuisine. I really love it. And every time I go back to Hawaii, I
Yeah.
do the same exact thing. So I am fluent in Vietnamese and speaking wise. Reading and writing, I'm getting there. But in speaking
Yeah.
wise, I'm definitely there. Um, but it's like enjoying the culture and enjoying the holidays. Like we have, Chinese New Year, Vietnamese New Year's, which is different from American New Year's or the calendar year. Usually it happens end of January, beginning of February, where the Lunar New Year's happen. But that's exactly what I do. I really enjoy my culture. I'll be honest, American culture is not as I would say if everyone inducted the Asian European culture, I think everyone would be super happy by now, to be honest. Um, but it's not, it's America, and supposedly we're a free country. I'm not gonna emphasize on that till later on, but I feel like we're not that free, to be honest. But when I'm in my culture, when I'm in the place where I can call home, that's where it is. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any favorite Vietnamese dishes that you definitely would advise people to try out?
So as starters, I think everyone knows pho. If you're a very good starter, please try
Love
pho.
pho.
If you are hungover as a mother trucker, go try pho.
Just
It's gonna help you so
yeah,
much.
so
But
good.
if you want to take it to the next level, if you want to take it to the next level of like, oh, like pho so easy, cool. Yes. Go with the spicy beef noodle soup called Bumbo Way. You want to go for that. and you think that will cure your hungover, that will cure you for the whole week. Like, because it's so
Yeah,
spicy, it like makes you feel like a certain way, the sweats, but it makes you feel so good afterwards. So I would say those two, like start with those two first, and
uh,
then you want to come out to it. So that's what it
amazing.
is.
Love pho. Like we'll eat it any day, every day. Um, Peter, is there anything else you kind of want to talk about your background a little bit? I know that future episodes will get into more about you, but just as a starter, is there anything else you want to share out to people?
Yeah, honestly, through my health and wellness journey, I think the biggest aspect that I really want to share is it starts with you. You making a decision. I can present so many opportunities out there of what I'm doing. And that's for you guys to reach out. I'm not going to talk about it on here. But there's so many opportunities out there for you to be successful as you want to be. And do what you love. I think that's the biggest aspect of it. I do enjoy what I do. I am in health and wellness industry. I'm in a health and wellness area, but I'm also a tennis coach. And I love both of them. I don't feel like it's a job for me. I'll be honest. Like I'm out because I have my phone. As long as I have my phone, I can work from anywhere. But the biggest aspect is enjoy what you do. Don't be forced to do something you don't like. I think that's the aspect of it. And that's what happened to me 2.5 years ago is I did something. Yes, I did enjoy being a tennis director. I did enjoy being a tennis coach, but I did it for the wrong reason. I didn't do it as enjoyment. I did it for survival. So now I get to do it as an enjoyment. I get to do it as if I get to enjoy the life I really want to create for myself. So that's what it is. That's really what I want to end off with because I think a lot of people are going to hear more about it, but I'm excited for I'm excited for episode 4. We were just talking about it and to the people who are out there right now, out there in the world, even actually here in the United States, especially in California, because we're both from California, West Coast Gen podcast, um, I want you guys to make sure that you guys stay safe. I know there's so many things out there. There's so many things that are happening right now. And please, 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 if you're gonna go out there, if you're gonna out there and protest, which I'm super open to it, there's nothing wrong with it because we have the right to be safe out there because there's so much things that are going on and we don't want any of our audience here to get hurt or anything like that. So please, 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 if you decide to do that, please go to your own, safety, but also stay safe out there, please, because there's so many things that are
Mhm.
happening right now. And I want to really send prayers to everyone that's going through the struggle. If that's a family member or friend that is going through what's happening right now, I do want to send prayers to you and know that Ariane and I, if you guys are following us on Instagram, would love to help you guys out and really share positivity and really give you guys hope. That's the aspect of what we're trying to do with this podcast is we've been through a lot. Ariana has
Yeah.
been talking and journaling with so many different people. Life journey for me has been tremendously crazy, and I want to be able to share that and give, we want to be able to give you guys hope that there's a lot of hope in this world, and we may not be Superman, but we are superhumans in our ways. So I want to end off like that.
Yeah. Yeah, on that note, really quick, you guys just, continue to support advocacy efforts, pushing for policy change if you want, safely, as Peter said, and just know your rights. Look up any resources, any sort of defense funds online to help you guys out if you need. I think it's really important we just come together as a community, support networks, and just highlight community strength because we're better together than we are apart. And I
Correct.
want to end on that. So, thank you guys so much for listening to episode 3, and we can't wait to have you guys back on for episode 4. So, thank you, and we'll see you guys next week.
Yeah, just remember to follow us on YouTube at West Coast Gen Z and also on Instagram
Yeah,
at the same thing. So talk to you guys soon.
bye.